Okay, lesson 9. This is lesson 9 practice problems. We're going to start with question number 1 because this one is a really good question. You will find one very similar to this on the test. We're trying to identify which triangles the base and the height have been labeled correctly. This can be really challenging. Remember, the key for height is it has to make a perpendicular line. So for the height, we're looking for this. We're looking for some sort of T, okay, that makes that perpendicular line to the base. Okay, so you're going to have base and then you're going to have like a height, okay, kind of like this. And it does not always have to be directly together. So we're going to talk about each one so we can determine which ones are correct. Okay, so I'm looking at A. I'm going to start with A. And A doesn't look right because it's upside down. However, it is correct. If we were to rotate this triangle around, okay, and I'm going to actually do it with my paper. I now can see that the base is here at the bottom and here is the height. And it's off of the triangle, but that's okay because remember there is that imaginary ceiling going along the top here. It's like an imaginary line and we're trying to see the distance between the bottom and the top of the triangle. Now the top of the triangle is a point, kind of like a pyramid, but that distance is going to be the same no matter where you go along that plane at the top. So we have base, we have height. So I'm going to turn it back around and I'm going to check off that A is good. Check. Okay? A is good. It's upside down. It's been turned upside down. It's rotated, but it is correct. Okay? It is correct. And I'm just going to write rotate it here so we can kind of remember that it's kind of upside down. Okay, now B is exactly the same as A. They are the same triangles. The only difference is instead of finding the height on the outside, they're going to find the height going straight up the center. And again, remember that invisible plane going across the top. And again, this one has also been rotated. Okay, rotate it. These are actually the same. The height can go up the center. So B is good. We're going to check B off as being good. All right, let's take a look at C. Now, C looks very similar to A and B, but there's one major problem. There's one major problem. We don't really have the right base. So remember, the base and the height have to form that T from each other. And if I look here, I don't quite have the base. This is the slant of the line right here. Like I'm going to rotate it around so you can kind of see it. It looks right, but it's not quite. So here's the base. The height should go like this, up here, or even here, or even up here. You see that? Here's the point of the triangle across from the base. So we know that this is the base because it's opposite of the point. So if I'm looking at this, I can see that this is not correct. This is measuring the side of the triangle. Okay? So C is no go. C is not good. Nope. All right. Take a look at D. Okay, now D is very similar to A and B. In fact, B and D are almost the same. If I rotate this around, I can see I have a nice base and I have a height. And here's that imaginary ceiling. Okay, see the imaginary ceiling? And I'm connecting the base to the top. Another thing you can look for is like the base will usually be opposite of that point of the triangle where we're trying to measure the height. Okay, so this one's a good one. D is good. It's just rotated. A lot of these are rotated. Okay, now take a look at E. E and C are very, very similar. So watch, if I look at this one, this does not make sense. I can't measure the height below the base. Okay, like that doesn't work. Now, if I rotate this triangle around and I look at this as the base, here's the height right here. See how it's directly across from the base? Okay, so there is the height. The height is not below the base. Ooh, that's not right. So E is a no-go. Nope. All right, let's check the last one. The last one is just like B and D. So D, B, and F are very similar. They're showing the base with the height going straight up to that point directly across from the base. See that? So here's the base, here's that point, and the height's going straight up. Here's the base, here's that point, and the height's going straight up. Here's the base, here's that point, and the height is going straight up. So this will work. So I'm going to rotate it around so you can see. Here's the base. That's the bottom of the pyramid or the triangle. Here's the top, the ceiling. Remember, it's an imaginary ceiling going across the top, and we're just trying to measure the top to the bottom, and that one will work. Okay? So there you have it. A, B, D, and F all correctly show base and height. The only two that are not quite right are C and E. C and E. All right. So let's see if we can find a base and height. It says for each triangle, a base and height, and its corresponding height are labeled. Okay, so we're going to find the area of each. How is the area related to the base and its corresponding height? Well, we already know the answer to this. The area will always be half of the base times height. Okay, we already know the answer to that. It will always be half of the base times height. Okay, so let's go ahead and knock out the area for each one of these triangles. This is a really good review. We did this in the last practice problem, so let's see if we can get these correct. Here's my base, here's my height. They're already telling me the labels, so I don't even have to guess. So here's my base, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 24. Remember, it's half. So A has an area of 12 units squared. Okay? Let's do this one. Base and height. They already told us the base and the height, so we don't even need to guess. Base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's my base. Height is 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Half of 32 is 16. So this one is 16 units squared. All right, last but not least, base times height divided by 2. So we've got base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the height. It's way out here, but remember that here's that imaginary plane. I'm going to just kind of sketch it. It goes all the way across this line right here. See that? So the height really could be anywhere from this line segment to this line segment, the measuring the top to the bottom. And it's going to be the same all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Just like the first one, half of 24 is 12 units squared. Okay? All right, so that is practice problems 1 and 2 of lesson number 9.